Well, first off, I want to say I'm not a marketing guy. I don't actually market my videos much on YouTube or anything like that. I guess maybe that's my own problem, right? But, being not market driven, more financial driven, I stick with facts versus BS. And I want to stay here right from the get go. I get a lot of my information from the major media. I'm not one of these alternative medias in a true sense. It's just that I do think outside the box a little bit, I think, in my humble opinion. Anyway, I just want to get on to something. I remember Blankfein said, Lloyd Blankfein at Goldman Sachs was talking about preparing for contingencies. There might be another, I don't know. He said in so many words that there was going to be another financial collapse. It's inevitable at some point in time. But I started thinking a little bit past that. Why do you really say that? Because really, the last financial collapse wasn't really the collapse of the regular people in the United States. It was a collapse of the top people who needed a bailout because they made bad bets. Because they got screwed up. So maybe he's alluding to something coming up that, it could be derivatives. I don't know. But he isn't really. He's giving you like a generic fact, prepare for the unexpected. I know that. But why is he saying it now? He could have said that last year, the year before. He could have said that at any time in the last so many decades. That makes me think. And so he says it, and everybody thinks, well, there might be this collapse coming up maybe. But I think there's a little more to it. It's basically, the bankers might need another bailout, right? Just my gut reaction on that. That's one reason that's one thing, when I put out one of these videos, I want to put out what I think is really, really going on when somebody says something. It's basically prepping people that they might need another bailout. Because we've been talking about this crap with the derivatives for a long time. There's been people that were dissatisfied people, top people in a lot of these, top, Goldman and all that type of stuff. They got out and wrote a bunch of scathing things about it because they're trying to distance themselves from it, right? So, it takes a while for the shit to fall apart. That's all I'm saying, Shouldn't say that on a family channel, but I'm not a family channel, but anyway. SAC Capital has been indicted by a federal grand jury. That's Steve Cohen's $14 billion SAC Capital advisors because of, I don't know, there's supposed to be like a couple portfolio managers were charged with using non-public, inside information for trading on Dell and NVIDIA, I figure this goes on all the time because if somebody makes that much money all the time, it isn't because they're looking at a graph, it isn't because they're looking at a chart. It's like they know something's coming up and they make the right bet. Hey, just like Goldman, right, with the Gulf of Mexico oil spill, right? How did they know to get out of BP? How did they know to short stocks? How did they know to sell? How did the CEO of BP know to sell those stocks? I don't know, just pure dumb luck, right? Anyway, and of course, Pastor Lindsey Williams says that it was just purely an accident, right? Anyway, so it looks like Steve Cohen, maybe he's going to have to pay millions of dollars. I'll put that in perspective because Steve Cohen paying millions of dollars. The guy's got almost $10 billion. So if it's like you having almost $10 million and having to pay thousands of dollars for a fine. Oh, wow, that hurts, right? It's a joke and a half, man. It's almost like you having $10,000 and somebody finds you some pennies. Literally. Put it in relativity to what's actually the amounts are, So when somebody comes out back and they say, yeah, they got indicted by a federal grand jury, maybe they're going to get fined millions of dollars, but that ain't really nothing. That ain't nothing. So I guess maybe the better example is, millions of dollars compared to his wealth would be like literally $10,000 compared to pennies. Pennies, under a buck. That's how cheap it would be. So, yeah, that's a lot. So, Anyway, there was a scathing advertisement that was put out by, you know, it was CEO Patrick Byrne, right? He put out a scathing advertisement, a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal. See, this is the cool thing, because these guys get mad at each other. Because, when they're screwing somebody over, they're screwing over somebody else that's got some power too, So, he basically said that Steve Cohen, this guy's loaded, man. I mean, I don't even know if his wealth is 9 point something billion. Maybe it's more than that, because I know that Forbes list is BS. I mean, it's not total BS, but it's like, you really don't know what the hell they got. Just like, everybody, the smaller people, or whatever you want to call them, got silver coins or something. And they got loads of shit like that stashed in different places, too. Artwork, maybe gold, it may be anything. You don't know what the hell they got. Nobody knows, including the IRS, and nobody else knows. So, but it looks like, from Overstock.com, it looks like they got slammed. And it was like, basically, Overstock was being not only ridiculed by the media, but also by insiders at Wall Street banks. Naked short selling for failing a stock is the practice of shorting a stock that has never actually been borrowed. So, failing a stock, just like failing electronic silver price. Well, the guy did it with Overstock. It's illegal in part, because it creates a fake supply of stock. It's like a fake supply of silver, So basically in 2005 and 2006, Overstock.com claims naked short selling created 6 times the actual supply of its stock on the market, So, and it had inside. You see, this guy actually published this in the Wall Street Journal. It's the CEO, Patrick Byrne, B-Y-R-N-E, if you look it up. He published a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal talking about Steve Cohen's practices and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's amazing, But, everybody will kiss his ass because he's got money, right? That's usually how that works, right? So, but he goes on to state that, the critic of Steve Cohen says Cohen is directly responsible for corruption on our capital markets that cost hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of people their jobs. So now SEC has been indicted, and Cohen's life work is, he ain't gonna get freaking fined much. Like I said, even if this guy gets fined hundreds of millions of dollars, it's like nothing compared to his billions. Like a billion is 1,000 times more than a million. So, hey, crime pays, right? So anyway, but this was kind of funny because it said that Patrick Byrne, when he's being interviewed, he goes, as far as him being mean, putting out this ad on Steve Cohen, he goes, if you're gonna kick a man when he's, why not do it when he's down, right? In other words, you're playing for freaking to make sure that kick really counts, So they're kicking Steve Cohen the best they can because he's the big guy and they're trying to tear him down. So, because basically he hurt a lot of people. He hurt a lot of big people too. You don't make that kind of money by just, what the hell did he generate in productivity for the average person that, like a consumable, a hard physical good that lasts? Nah, he freaking did it with toilet paper, It's all freaking card game. That's what he did. So, and this does relate to silver because it's kind of what's going on with the electronic markets, man. I keep thinking of something. I know I pointed Marc Faber's name out 8 gazillion times if you looked at it, if you've been following me a while, but he's got physical gold. Physical, the real stuff, in different countries. He don't even have it in the United States, man, which one thing I don't like that deal because he's kind of telling me, and I kind of suspect this, because if gold and silver go way up, we're going to have a hard time, cashing it in for cash. Because they're going to hit with all kinds of taxes. He doesn't even have, in other words, a confiscatory type taxes. He doesn't even have it in the United States because he's afraid of what's going to happen. He's got it in different countries, in different vaults and stuff like that, but the physical stuff. Because he's freaking bullshit artist in the financial world. Well, I guess you know what's going to happen, a popular revolt after a period of time. It's like they're necessary, but they ain't necessary to be crooks, you know? That's the whole deal with, you know, with the financial people. And we got a gazillion of them out there making a gazillion dollars that aren't really contributing to anybody else in any realistic way. They know it, too. They know it. They don't give a shit. I'm telling you, they don't. But, looks like Steve Cohen's got, you know, you might get a slap on the wrist or something like that. You know, oh well. Anyway, you know, I got my other thoughts on that, but this is like a restricted channel. I can't really say too much. But I got my other thoughts on that stuff. It would kind of be along the lines of that 95-year-old that was in the elderly care institute, and he went after the guys with the shoehorn. You know, that kind of shit, you know? I mean, I'd be going after Steve Cohen with a pencil sharpener and stick his little pointy head in there and go, and grind it up, man. You know, it's a joke, right? Anyway, his freaking fat ego wouldn't fit in that damn pencil sharpener. That's the problem, because these guys are on the top, man. You know, that's, well, I'm going to just kind of ad-lib here on the end. People that got money, they got bigger egos. Oh, shit. They got bigger egos. They got horrible wives. Because the only reason they're around is because they love that money. And, you know, they kiss their ass. They just do it for the money. And they got the legal setup and all the background and shit. I'm sure Cohen's got it like that, too. You know? You know, they're cheap. They're cheap, you know? So, I don't kiss their ass. But, you know, to tell you the truth, somebody like Lloyd Blankfein, I seen that guy interview. I probably, myself, I could probably get along with that guy, like somebody like him. No problem at all. No problem at all. Because I like the game. Serious, man. I like the game. I know it's evil, but it's fun. I mean, I don't really do it because it's money. I do it because it's fun. That's just how I think, you know. So, you know, I don't really think of these guys as that bad in some ways, but the truth is, they're scamming. So, you know, but I personally don't really have too much against them, to tell you the truth. Not too much at all. But, you know, I guess maybe my personal philosophy is somewhat different. Well, it is definitely different for them because I don't have any kind of wealth like that in any way, shape, or form. But, you know, I keep down to the earth. You know, I know how to fix shit. I know how to turn wrenches. I know how to do stuff. These guys are like helpless little girls. They can't do shit unless it's with a calculator. So, you know, but they are good scammers, and scamming is a lot of fun, and I do enjoy it. So, you know, I wouldn't mind working with Steve Cohen or Lloyd Blankfein, to tell you quite the truth, or anybody like that, because, to tell you the truth, that kind of shit is a lot of fun. It is, you know. So what? They're investigating. We could fix it. We could fix it. We could make it look good. There's always a way. I don't want to get too much in this shit, but that kind of shit is fun. It's a game.